Richard Keys and Andy Gray had celebrated careers in sports broadcasting. The duo were household names as they fronted Sky Sports coverage. Sign up for the football newsletter. Thank you. Andy Gray and Richard Keys have had controversial careers credit. PA, Press Association. The pair rehearsing in 1992 for Sky TV, which made them household names credit, Group Newspapers Ltd. However, that all changed in 2011 when tapes of them making derogatory and sexist remarks about female assistant referee Sian Massey and colleagues were leaked. Fast forward 15 years from then and the pair could reportedly leave sports broadcasting altogether. It's reported both Keys, 68, and Gray, 70, will not renew their contract with Qatar-based broadcaster beIN Sports and will part ways at the end of the season. The Telegraph further claim that while they are both planning on returning to the UK, they are not expected to present any live sports coverage. Read more in football. But as the Sun possibly settles on their time as broadcasters, how did they get there? The Sun takes a look back through the controversial careers of Keys and Gray, from their feud with Gabby Logan to tying the knot with someone 30 years younger. Career paths. Gray was a hugely successful footballer for both club and country, appearing 20 times for Scotland while playing for the likes of Aston Villa, Wolves and Everton across the 1970s and 1980s. He later went on to become an assistant to Ron Atkinson at Villa when he retired from playing, a role he juggled with duties as a Sky pundit before moving into that role full-time in 1993. Most read in football. Keys meanwhile started out as a Fleet Street reporter with Haters from 1976 to 1978 when he then moved to Liverpool to work at Radio City as a football commentator. He held various roles across radio and TV before he joined the newly formed Sky Sports in 1991. The pair were a mainstay with the broadcaster for the best part of 2 decades, but behind the scenes their reputation for misogyny and inappropriate language was well known. Sky and sexism shame. Gray and Keys were booted off of Sky after sexist comments about football official Sian Massey. Credit, Reuters. As reported by the Daily Mail, one female staff member from the time bemoaned the power they wielded, with one noting on Keys, "He ruled the roost, he ran the show and got away with whatever he wanted." Another described London-born Keys as the "most awful and vile man I have ever worked with." They added, "There didn't appear to be a desire to rein him in, despite the words he would use as he and Andy Gray performed to one another, trying to make one another laugh." He was a dinosaur back then and we are talking the early noughties. Today you can't bump into a Sky Sports employee from then and not have a conversation about Richard. Some don't want to give him the oxygen, others are still cross at how awful he was. Indeed, in 2000 Keys was accused of making a racially motivated comment about footballer David Johnson, allegedly referring to him as Chalk Jocko. The comment was brought into the public eye in February 2011 after he left Sky. Their Sky careers began to unravel in 2011, when Keys and Gray were hauled off air as a result of their sexist comments made about female football official Sian Massey and West Ham Vice Chair Karen Brady. Believing his microphone had been switched off while presenting a Wolves v Liverpool match, Gray was heard saying to Keys, Can you believe that? A female linesman. Women don't know the offside rule. Keys replied, "Course they don't." Both were hit with a one-game ban by Sky and issued apologies for the comments before it was announced their contracts had been terminated on January 25. Keys joined TalkSport for 2 years before both he and Gray joined beIN Sports in 2013, where they have since led the Premier League and Champions League coverage. Cheating allegations and newlyweds. Despite moving out of the spotlight in England, Keys continued to make headlines in 2016 after his first wife, Julia, filed for divorce due to alleged infidelity. Julia, who had 2 children with Keys, told The Sun that the allegations which brought their 36-year marriage crashing down had left their family devastated. Keys went on to marry lawyer Lucy Rose, 30 years his junior, on a country estate in 2023. The pair first met when Keys moved to the Middle East. Lucy is said to have been best pals with Keys' daughter Gemma, before she became involved in the alleged fling. The presenter denies this claim. The Daily Mail reported a source close to Julia revealed she was unaware of the wedding until she received a text from Richard just 2 hours before Lucy walked the aisle. Gray has been married twice and has 5 children with 4 different women. Gabby Logan feud. Gabby Logan has had a bitter feud with the pair for more than 2 decades. Credit, PA, Press Association. Writing in her 2022 memoir, BBC presenter Logan slammed Keys and Gray as dinosaurs waiting to become extinct. She also lifted the lid on damning claims that the duo subjected her to sexist provocation about her pregnancy on board a flight to the 2005 Champions League final. Logan, who had joined Sky Sports in 1996, wrote, "Even years after I'd left Sky, it appeared I was still fair game for Gray and Keys. I sat a row behind them on a flight to Istanbul for the Champions League final in 2005, which I was covering for ITV. I was 7 months pregnant with twins, and I was huge. I looked like I'd swallowed a space hopper. In full earshot of me, and anyone who might be listening in our business class cabin, Richard said, 'So, Andy, what do you think of pregnant women?' I was embarrassed, of course, and thought their comments were especially cruel, bearing in mind they both had children and wives of their own. Luckily, by that time I had been working with lovely men such as Ali McCoist and Andy Townsend at ITV, who were kind and caring, always asked after my well-being, and seemed genuinely excited for me about the babies." Keys and Gray were dinosaurs, waiting to become extinct. Keys threatened to take legal action against Logan for the wildly inaccurate allegations. The bitter row erupted again last year when Logan was announced as part of the 3-person team to replace Gary Lineker as host of Match of the Day, alongside Kelly Cates and Mark Chapman. Writing in his blog, Keys said, "Gabby Logan is someone else I opened the door for. I did that because her dad had played for Coventry and I was a big fan. She's good, but a handful." Laura Woods blasted Keys for his tribute of Logan's father, Terry Yorath. Credit, Getty. Sadly she everybody off at Sky with her demanding attitude, and my gaffer then, Vic Wakeling, let her go after 2 years. I'm told by people that work with her now nothing has changed. Oh well, one day maybe. Keys received widespread backlash in an apparent tribute post to late former Leeds, Coventry and Wales midfielder, Terry Yorath, Logan's father, which was met with criticism for its poor taste. Keys had wrote after his death last month, "Sad to hear the news of Terry Yorath's passing. He was a warrior, won fans over wherever he played. He was great for us at Coventry, the reason I got Gabby a job at Sky. I had no idea who she was when we met, but I knew her dad. Rip Terry, your daughter did you proud." TNT sports presenter Laura Woods blasted the so-called tribute, saying, "Sorry, but what ATT." Said with zero surprise. Ex-BBC presenter Dan Walker also called on Keys to change the tribute, adding, "Richard, just imagine what it would be like for Gabby, or a member of her family, to read this. I'm hoping you have just worded this badly and it isn't a dig at a really difficult time. There is still time to change it." Keys claimed his words had been entirely misinterpreted. TV twilight. Fast forward to 2026 and it has been reported that Keys and Gray are set to leave beIN Sports when their contracts expire at the end of the season. The pair fronted the broadcaster's 2022 World Cup coverage based in Doha, but it's understood they won't be in place for this summer's tournament being held in North America. It will bring an end to their 13-year relationship with beIN Sports, though it is understood there has been no falling out between the parties ahead of the exit. Sunsport has approached beIN Sports for comment. Recommended stories. They are understood to be planning on returning to the UK when they leave beIN, but won't be on TV anywhere. Keys will also move in with wife, Lucy, who he has had a long-distance relationship with since their marriage in 2023. Keys will be moving in with wife Lucy now. Credit. Social media, refer to source. Keys with daughter Gemma and ex-wife Julia. Credit. Alpha Press. Gray and Keys are set to leave beIN Sports at the end of the season. Credit. beIN Sports.